Namaste, good morning. My name is Neva, and I'd like to invite you to practice with me today. Just going to do sort of a spontaneous, creative flow, Vinyasa style, which means broadly to align yourself with your breath. So I'm going to invite you just to stand quietly in your Tadasana. You're standing with mountain pose and root down through the feet, feeling the weight even on the feet. Your legs are active. You can have a little bend in them, but lift your kneecaps and lift the front of the thigh. And have a sense that the tailbone drops down. And lift your chest up out of your waist, lengthening your spine up out of your hips as you root down through your feet. Start to bring your awareness a little more intimately with yourself, your heart, and your breath. So inhale for at least 5 counts, feeling the breath at the top of the inhale, expand the collarbones. Exhale, melt the shoulders down the back, soften the face and jaw. Let all the breath drain out and then lift inward, upward from the root lock. Mula Bandha to the navel lock, the Uddiyana Bandha. And just do 3 of those, just centering yourself, tuning in. Breathing through the nose into the back of the throat, the Ujjayi Pranayama. Take a moment to establish your sankalpa, which is an intention or a resolve, a vision of your life. Tuning into the field of energy that is your heart awareness, your wisdom awareness, your compassion awareness. How is it that you want to live this life and be in this life, flourish in this life, share your gifts in this life? And whatever it is, focus on it with an unwavering conviction, faith, knowing that when we apply the 3 principles of the Yoga Sutras, steady action, Vinyasa, tapas, discipline and purification, inner reflection, through meditation, pranayama, pratyahara, called svadhyaya, tuning into the true self, accessing, understanding, living from sva, self, but more than just the mind, ego self, but the true self, the eternal self, the wise self, the heart self. And Ishvara Pranidhana, which is that alignment with the higher self. Ishvara means Lord or Creator. A relationship with, a humility and a reverence for, gratitude for that which is sustaining us, which simply is life force, breath, pranayama. So this is what we're aligning with when we practice, which means that while we move, we're listening inside. And in each flowing moment, seeking the balance between strength and ease, stability and flow, trying and non-trying. Whereas the Yoga Sutra says, Sukha Sthira, sweetness or softness, receptivity, which is reflected by the inhale, and Sthira, stability, strength, which is reflected in the exhale. So just drop the arms, open the hands to release anything you no longer need, standing tall, heart open. We'll open the feet a little bit and just do a few slight warm-up movements before we go into our sun salutations that reverence to Surya, who represents the Creator, Surya Namaskar. And I'd like you just to do a little rotation of the right ankle, so you're rolling around on the ball of the foot. Let's do it clockwise. And just keep all of your toes on the floor as you roll through the ankle. Just feel what's going on there. Lubricate your joint. And then bring your awareness into the movement coming more from the knee. So your knee is circling around. Create a spacious quality in the knee, get the juices flowing in the knee joint. A lot of the asana practice has to do with creating more space in the body, decompressing. So when we're in the gravitational field, we're always being compressed. We want to decompress, so we have more vitality flowing through, so we can heal and have strong immune systems. Now feel it moving from the hip more. So just explore the movement range of how your thigh bone sits in that hip socket. Take your time. And notice that the rest of your body is flowing with the movement. So even though you're bringing your awareness to each section, the whole body's been participating all along. It's just about where your awareness is. Now I'd like you to bring your awareness into the navel so that as you're rotating around, you're squeezing and releasing like you're churning a washing machine. Churning and helping to detox your digestive organs. And then just let your shoulders roll and feel your whole spine in a serpentine type of unwinding. Move it out through the elbows. Move it out through the fingers. And then just sort of whatever movement arises, whatever unwinding is needed. And then just sort of settle it back down into stillness on both feet to do it on the other side. So first that rotating around the ankle, feeling across the ball of the foot, keeping the toes grounded, looking at the arches of the foot. I say arches because you have 3 in each foot. Then the knee. Hello knee, thank you knee for all you do. Knee is a vulnerable part of the body, so we really want to protect it. And then the hip, nice juicy circle. Noticing movement of the hip, which is sort of the central fulcrum of the body, really gets the rest of the body going more. And make sure that your neck is moving with your spine and not held separate. Bring it into the navel, contracting, releasing, contracting, releasing, contracting, releasing. And let the whole spine wave. It's like you're tossing and opening. And think of the subtle body, the astral body, all the channels that carry energy through your body, also being washed, freed up, aligned. And then we'll do a little Qigong movement, which is to pound gently on the belly below the navel and gently turn the head from side to side with a relaxed jaw. Feeling how the head, the skull sits right on the top axis of the spine. And feel a gentle freedom of motion there. We call this heating up the belly and cooling down the mind. Because in many cases it's the opposite. We have hot minds, meaning too busy, overheated, and cool bellies, meaning poor digestion, incomplete elimination of toxins. So we're reversing that, getting some heat in the belly, stimulating digestion, and letting the mind drain all of its tension. Good. And now I invite you to draw a figure 8 with your pelvis. Imagine you have a paintbrush lengthened from the tailbone, and you're going to swoosh a nice, even figure 8 between your feet with that paintbrush. Keep the weight balanced on the feet, and again, let the whole spine unwind with the movement. So our hips get really locked up from all the sitting, and most of us are doing more sitting than usual because we're taking Another teacher that I love, Jill Guttenberg from Costa Rica, said, we're all taking advantage of this time to do online courses. It's true. I am. Is one of the benefits, but it has its drawbacks, and so undoing the tension in the hip is one of the things we have to attend to. Hips also hold a lot of emotional tension. Do we reverse the circle? Let's do that. Reverse your figure eight. Center and around, 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 and center and around. And I'd just like to review a little bit about the positioning of the pelvis when we're practicing our yoga. So we have two positions we sort of identify, and they're dog tilt and cat tilt. Some people call them cat and cow. I'm going to call it dog tilt and cat tilt. Put a bend in the knee. Cat tilt is when we tuck, is when we round the whole spine. So this would be a shape like a C shape. That would be cat tilt. But if we just do it in the pelvis, see how we flatten out the low back. That's actually not a natural position. So we only really pay attention to doing cat tilt while we're doing our asanas if we're going into back bends, so that we emphasize the opening more in the upper body. And then dog tilt is when we arch, is when we sway the spine. So we're stretching the tailbone back. We're letting the hip points roll forward and swaying the low back. This is also damaging potentially to the lumbar spine because it compresses it too much and we want space. But we do use the dog tilt position whenever we're doing a forward fold so that we have a deeper hinge at the hip, at the top of the thigh, allowing for a long spine as we drape into our forward bends. Because in our forward bends, eventually we want the belly right on the thigh, and eventually do that with the straight legs. But for now, the main thing is to get the sit bones rising like headlights to the sky, weight even on the feet, and this sense of hollowness in the low belly that allows you to drape down and lengthen through the sideways, the side ribs. And remember that everywhere that you create space, you have more room for breath, prana, energy, and the removal of toxins. So let's just go ahead and roll up. Now that we've reviewed that, I'd like you to remember. When we're in Tadasana, we're actually neutral. In most standing asanas, we're moving toward neutral. So the tailbone and the pubic bone pull toward each other, and you align the pelvic floor, which is where we have the root block, Mula Bandha, and the root chakra, Muladhara, which is the earth element. And then the diaphragm, the midsection, which is the fire element, the Manipura chakra area. Right over that, so we have a dome here, a dome at the pelvic floor, a dome in the throat, and a dome at the top of the head, and the domes in the feet. These are all actively lifting and stacked very nicely. So the energy flows and no muscles have to overwork. There's a balance. I'm going to show you a three-part vinyasa, very, very simple, that my first vinyasa teacher taught me. Interlace your hands behind your back and pull your shoulders down. Now watch that you're not puffing. So you don't want to be in that dog tilt position. Take a deep breath along the spine until your collarbones expand at the top of the inhale. And as you drain the breath out on the exhale, hollow the belly in and up and lift the arms back as far as you can without straining or disturbing your alignment. And after you've got there, change the hand that's on top. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, pull the belly in and up, then take a breath, and maybe explore if you can go a little higher. Don't strain or struggle or judge, just see what your body can do today, and then just release. And notice if there's any shift in the quality of how you feel your arms in the shoulder socket. I feel a lightness and an energy, a buzz, which feels very nice. The second one is this. We start with the hands in Namaste. Interlace the fingers, and with an inhale, pull forward with the arms and form that C shape I showed you earlier. So the chin is dropped, the back is rounded, and you're breathing into the space in the back of the heart between the shoulder blades. With your exhale, tighten the belly as you drain the breath out. Let your hips float forward. Let your tailbone drop down and stretch your heart to the sky as you spread your wings. Imagine you're a figurehead on a ship in the wind, the sun. Take a huge breath here. And then your exhale as you drain out the breath. Use your bandhas, that inward upward lift from the root lock to the navel lock, to bring you right over Samasthiti, standing in balance. We'll do that twice more. Inhale. Slow and mindful breath and body, getting the spine and getting the shoulders open, the chest open. Exhale, floating open. Drop the tail, let the hips float forward, spread your wings. Inhale here. Exhale over your center. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale to open. Inhale in your open position. Exhale over your center. Really register in your awareness the difference between forward bend, the back bend, and the center. Because as we move forward through our vinyasas, we always want to keep this awareness of where our center is. Whatever shape we're in, tailbone to crown, what's that shape? What's that shape? And that shape is our core. That shape is our self in our body. That's where our chakras are. That's where our heart center is. That's where our intellect and our digestive processes. All these fundamental things are right along that core. The last of these, I'm going to turn to face you. It's a really deep side opener that I love. Turn your right foot out 45 degrees, lining your heel up with the middle of the left arch. You can look down and see if you've got that. Left toes point forward. Slide that right foot out at that angle. So you just slide out about a foot plus a couple of inches. Feel it feels stable. The left hip will just sort of swing out to the side like you're leaning on something. And the left arm will go straight up. Now just feel yourself balanced on those feet. I don't mean your weight is balanced between them, but on each foot you feel the whole surface of the foot. Take a deep, slow breath. Remember, you want to feel the breath expand all the way to the collarbones at the end of the inhale. On your exhale, you're drawing the bandhas inward and upward as you go sideways. And let this arm dangle. Take 2 slow breaths here, just feeling how the breath flows easily through this side of the body and opens it up more. And then, like you're squeezing air out of the balloon, squeeze your bandhas to empty the breath out. And you might find yourself shifting with each breath a little deeper into the pose. With your next inhale, like someone's pulling on this arm. Come up, balance on the feet, and take a moment to notice the different sensations from right to left side of the body. I feel overall denser and shorter on the side that I stretch toward, and longer and lighter. Like there's more space on this side. It doesn't feel as dense. It's really fascinating how that works. Breath and body in the Vinyasa awareness, which is really the power of asana. So we'll slide out the other side, 45 degrees, hip to the right, right arm up. You can mirror me, or you could do the same, your same side, which means you'll be going the opposite way. Deep breath, filling yourself up. Squeezing the belly to go. Land where you land. Keeping this shoulder and chest nice and open, this one dropping loose. To Ujjayi. From the lower ribs to the mid ribs to the upper ribs with the breath. Stay there as you enter the breath, just squeezing inward and upward that root lock, which is the Kegels for women. Like you're climbing a rope and turning into it. Get all the breath out. And then relax the belly, take another breath. Stay there for that last exhale. Empty it all out. Then with an inhale, it's pulling on this arm. There we go. And just come back to center on the feet. Close your eyes and feel how you feel. It's a wonderful thing to bring your awareness inward at the level of the body and the breath. And as you practice yoga more and more, you start to sense the subtler energies also. Little hums, little buzzes, little sensations of space or density. All these are ways that energy is manifesting in your body. We all feel it, but we don't always necessarily register that that's what it is. But that's what it is. And energy is life, and life is love and health and vitality. Let's just do a gentle, I call this a kidney wrap because you're doing a soft fist and hitting right in the area of the kidney in the back. Some people call it empty sleeves, and that's a good description because that's the way your arms are moving, like they're empty sleeves, just wrapping around your body. Your spine is rotating and your head is rotating on your spine. It's a nice movement. Kidneys are a detox organ, so keeping them stimulated gently, releasing tension from that area is important so that the kidneys can do their job. I'm sharing a lot of information this morning that I hadn't planned to share, so I'm just going to trust that that's what's needed. So let's come to the front of the mat. We'll start off with a Surya Namaskar C. If you have blocks, please have them handy because they can help in the transitions. If you're not used to stepping forward into the lunges from down dog or stepping back, having that extra lift can be helpful if your shoulders are tight, etc. So we'll just start off inhaling right into a back bend. Remember, you want your tailbone to drop down, your chest to lift up, your spine to lengthen. Open the arms to fold over, and in C series, we're going to catch the hands behind the back to stretch over, bending the knees as much as you need to, swinging your tailbone back and up, and letting the head drop. Feel a nice stretch in the shoulders there. Bend your knees and lift your chest as you drop your hips. Have blocks handy if you'd like to do them, use them. Or you could have your hands on the floor. Some of you might practice just stepping back without using a hand. So there's different levels you can do this. No judgment. Drop the back knee. I like to keep the toes curled under and push back through the heel to get more length in the quad and take the weight off the knee. Lift your belly and drop your hips. Lift your chest and breathe. Remember, with each exhale, you're drawing that lift in and up from your root lock to your navel lock. With each inhale, you're releasing those bandhas and getting full breath from the bottom of the lung to the midsection of the lung, spreading the colors. If you'd like to take a breath, with your arms up, open or together, let's take another breath here. And we're going right into down dog. Again, you can keep your hands on the blocks. You're just going to pick your front foot up, step it back, and you're in down dog. So the blocks can give you a little extra leverage to get back into your legs, which is what we want. Eventually to be standing balanced on the feet and balanced on the hands. Taking the weight off the wrist by pressing down through the whole width of the hand. And just take 3 breaths here, even though as we get going, we're not going to stop in this position, just because it's our first down dog. And you can pedal your feet, working both through the arches and the toes, through the hip sockets. Remember, your tailbone is swinging upward. Your sit bones are swinging upward. Your lower belly is scooping inward and upward. And you're pushing the hands away to get length through the spine. With your next inhale, hug your belly to your spine and ripple forward into a plank. Make your body straight as a board. Lift the belly. Here you're in a little cat tilt. Looking forward, not down. So supporting yourself right through that core. Nice straight legs. For 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to take the blocks away. I'm putting my knees down for chaturanga. So we rock forward, elbows stay over the wrist, look forward, not down. There's a sense of opening in almost a cobra as you lower, and then come into cobra. Hips down, shoulders down, elbows in, feet pressing, spine softening, and breathe. One more big breath. And make your way once again. You can go right over your feet if you're ready, or doing what I'm doing, which is to the knees, lift the belly, and then lift the hips, press the thighs back. As soon as you get there, you're going to step the right foot forward. If your hands are on blocks, it can be easier to get that step all the way to the front. Put the back knee down, lift the chest, have your hands higher. Push through the back heel to lengthen the front of the left thigh, belly off the right thigh. Find the sense of cat tilt in your pelvis, even though you're in back bend. And if you'd like to take a breath, put the arms up. You're going to close the feet to the front of the mat, catching the hands behind the back. So we return to that position in Uttanasana, stretching the shoulders. Reaching the forehead toward the shins. And you can start to work towards straight legs if you have open hamstrings, hips, and lower back this morning. Reach forward, bend the knees, push into the feet, use your core, go straight up, and then back. And then over your center. So that's the sun salutation variation we call Surya Namaskar C. And we're going to do it now, flowing, leading with the left leg stepping back and the left leg stepping forward with less stopping. Inhale. Forward, catch the hands behind the back. Uttanasana. Step the left knee back, lower it, and reach up. Arms open together. Step back to downward facing dog with your exhale. Grounding on the hands and feet, lengthening the spine, Holding your core as you inhale to come forward. Knees can stay straight, or put your knees down to chaturanga, and then push through to upward dog or cobra. So your hips would stay on the mat in cobra. Use your belly, stretch back to down dog, and right away, left foot comes forward. Right knee lowers and you lift up. Following your breath. Step and close, catching the hands behind the back. Stretching up and into your back bend. Coming over your center, standing in your balanced position. Present with the light of yourself, a sense of space and light in the mind, space and light in the heart, space and light in the belly. Your three internal centers of energy. And this is upper is equated with moon, Shiva. Center is equated with sun, solar energy, Surya. And belly is connected to the earth fire, that molten energy in the center of the earth, which is the goddess Kali. Let's take an A series. So in A series, we don't take a back bend, we just go for spinal extension. Rooting down to lengthen up. We do not catch the hands behind the back in the typical A, moving all the way down. We take a little flat back position here. You can have your blocks handy to put your hands on them. And try to get length through your spine, especially the chest lifting and the shoulders rolling open. Mindful that you don't lift your chin too high, because you want to keep the back of your neck extended long. It's another delicate area of the body you need to protect. Then you could stay on your blocks if you want. We step into plank and lower to chaturanga. Now some of you might hop right back into that. We go through the Vinyasa. Go to down dog and we hold for 5 breaths. Then we meditate on the breath. So even asana is a meditation, creating a still point in the mind, observing the flow, observing the dance between the body and the breath, between sukha and sthira. And then we make our way to the front of the mat. And then you can bend your knees, drop your hips to hop, or walk up. And we take this little movement again of lifting the heart, folding down, rooting to rise straight up. Samastitihi. We'll take an A with variations. Exhale. Inhale. If I step back, I'm going to try to alternate which leg I step back with first to stay balanced. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. 3 breaths this time. Pressing evenly through the hands. Breathing long breaths along the spine. Pressing the tops of your thigh bones back as you lift your sit bones up. Scooping your low belly, folding your low ribs in. Breathing into your side ribs, stretching those shoulders. Inhale, take the right leg up. Let the hip open, bend the knee. So move it around. Reach it up, 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 up. And then step it to the front. You can have a block underneath your left hand if you want. And stack your right shoulder over your left shoulder. Breathing. With your next exhale, turn your chest parallel to the floor. So your both arms now come parallel to the floor like wings. You have to tap into your balance and your core here. And then lift up into crescent lunge for 5 breaths. 1. Find cat tilt. Lift your belly off your front thigh. Back leg nice and straight, drop down. And if you'd like to look up, you can look up. Then we come upright. Plant your hands. Step back. You can go right to down dog if you like, or through chaturanga on the knees or straight legs. Up dog, down dog. Inhale them up, go. Just explore that a little bit for a couple breaths. Step it all the way to the front. Luck is in the way. With that foot, I tend to need to bring my hand to help me these days because of an injury. It's improving. Inhale, open it up. Stacking your left shoulder over your right. Back leg is nice and sturdy. Dropping your hips down. One more big breath there. And then bring yourself parallel. Right arm up. Get stable and then swing up. I'm going to shorten my stance just a little bit. Go for cat tilt in the pelvis. Dog tilt in the heart. Stretching the breath into the side ribs, maybe looking up. And exhale. Once again, you can go right to down dog. You can take chaturanga, cobra, then down dog, or up dog, down dog. And take a rest in child pose here if you're getting tired. Anytime you need to stop, please spend some time in Shavasana before you just head off to your day. But really make this practice what you need. And then we'll come to the front of the mat. Lift your chest. Fold your spine. Keep the feet together, the knees together. And drop into chair pose, favoring towards your heels to reach up for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit down, 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 down. Inhale. Stand up. Exhale. All the way down. Take a deep breath to lift the heart. Make your way through your vinyasa. To downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Turn your back leg out. Make sure you have the space between your heels. Getting balanced on your feet. We'll take warrior 1 for 3 breaths. 1. Here again, going for cat tilt in the pelvis. Activate the arches of your feet. Pull the right hip back, the left hip forward. One more big inhale. Let's open to warrior 2. Sneak your right foot a little forward so the heel lines up with the middle of the back arch. Try to get down. Do you really feel a stretch in the groin? Stretch your arms open. And breathe. Take a big inhale to go to reverse warrior. This hand landing lightly or going across the back. Stretch it open. Straighten your right leg. Hinge your pelvis to the back of your mat. Lengthen your right waist. Right hand again landing lightly. Triangle pose. You can shorten the stance if you like. You can grab the big toe if you like. You can put your hand on the block. Lengthen your right waist and make your legs sturdy. Deepen your breath, open it up. Back to warrior two. Through your vinyasa. Put the knees down if you like I'm doing. Chest open, look forward. Push through the cobra or upward dog, thighs off the mat. Go to down dog. As soon as you get there, step your left foot forward. Put your back heel down. Get balanced on your feet. Lift up. 3 breaths. Go. Forward or up. Together or open. But stretch the breath and stretch the spine. I'm going to turn around so that I don't have my back to you in warrior two. Swivel to warrior two, adjusting your left foot so that heel lines up. Right. It's a little turn in the pelvis. Rotate the left thigh open, sink down. Spread your wings. And then go sideways. Reverse it, stretch it open. Straighten the left leg, swing your hips to the back. Lengthen your left wrist. Stack your right shoulder over your left. Forward or up. Breathe deeply. Lightly inhale. Turn to warrior two. This time straighten your legs. Bring your feet a little closer. Still wide, but a little closer. Hands on the hips. Elbows back. Inhale so much your chest lifts. And you find yourself looking up. Swing your tailbone back like a dog tilt and go all the way down. I'm going to take Hasarita Padasana A. Hands under the shoulders, elbows over the wrists, and a little traction to pull the chest down and the top of the head down. Knees can be bent or straight. Neck dangles long. Breath lengthens. Smooth. Silky. Shoulders lift away from the ears. Flat on the back. And of course, if you have a headstand and you want to put your head on the floor, making a triangle between your hands and your head, you can lift your feet up through straddle or take your knees to the back of your upper arm. You go up one leg at a time or both legs up. We're just there in that headstand if you're practicing it, just for one breath and float right back down. And then we'll all inhale, walking the hands out under the shoulders, come to the fingertips if you need to, bend your knees if you need to. Pull onto your waist. Use your bandhas to help you rise up. And take one big smooth step to the front of your mat. To Samastiti. I'd like to do a relatively short practice today. I think we've gotten into a lot of different things. So we're going to take a dancer pose now. A dancer pose or Naturajasana is a beautiful balance. It's easy to get into the ego. When I say that, I mean it's that judgment of how does it look, how far am I going, how big is it, those types of things. Being a dance background, those are familiar attitudes for me to take, which I observe if I'm doing it and I let go. Because what I want to feel is the more important aspect is how is my breath opening it up? What is the quality of my effort? And how are my bandhas supporting me? And how does my mind affect my body? And how does my body affect my mind? Those are the types of things I want to observe. And finally, just come to a place of total centered nothingness, awareness. How's that? So we'll start off just shifting your weight to balance on your left foot. Bend your right knee. Take hold of the inner edge of the foot. And you can have something handy to hold on to if you're feeling a little wobbly. Find that sense that you're pulling your pubic bone and tailbone toward each other. That's the root lock. And zipping up through the Uddiyana Bandha. Left arm up. And you can stay here the entire time. Just breathing. This is already a stretch for the quad. You're feeling pretty balanced today. You can start to push your foot back into your hand and take your chest and arm forward to counter that. Pausing to inhale, exploring with the exhale. Pausing to inhale, exploring with the exhale. And then coming back with control. Registering how one side of the body feels before we progress. Honoring the sacred geometry of the asana, honoring the sacred geometry of the body. The mind and the heart complex, the prana that flows through it. We'll take the other side. And you can stay here the entire time. You can have a chair or a wall handy as you begin to explore. Pushing back into the hand of the foot. Remember the sense of cat tilt. So even as you're going into your arch here, your tailbone is moving down. Your belly is lifting up. And your chest is softening to receive breath. And come out of it gently. See if you can do that smoothly. But when you've put the foot down, put the feet down so that they're open. And go ahead and come down to goddess pose. Taking the elbows to the inner knees. And lifting your chest. You could sit on a block here if you like. If you have crow pose and you want to practice it, come forward onto the hands, placing your shoulder width apart. I'm not going to do it today because I'm still nursing a shoulder injury, but you bring your knees up high as you can, squeeze them in, shift forward, look forward, and then just practice lifting one toe, then the other, and perhaps both feet. So the rest of us will be in goddess for a couple of breaths, while those of you that are practicing crow, practice crow. You can also put your forehead on the block. It's nice also if you're just learning it, to have a big pillow handy. And then we'll come back to goddess. You can certainly jump back to chaturanga from crow, take up dog, down dog, and jump back to goddess. And then sit down like the rest of us. Try to do that with control and unfold right into your Navasana. Two more breaths here. Cross your ankles, just hug in. You can pick yourself up or do what I'm doing, which is picking myself up with the low toe on the mat. tapping into the core that will eventually help me do that without the foot. I'll just do 2 of these today. Holding that equanimity, smooth breathing, strong core. Other ankle on top, pull it in, pick up, go down, take cobbler, Baddha Konasana to lean back and really get my hips in close. Pressing into the outer side of the heel to help spread the thighs open. And you can stay here, just working with that. You can sit on a block if you needed it. You can also put blocks under your knees, and if you'd like to take the forward bend, you take the spine out over the feet. Take your time here, exploring how deep breathing and bandhas help you go deeper each breath. So you need that little bit of strength to stabilize the pelvis and roll the thighs open. And then that breath that creates more space, breathing right into the belly. And then lift your chest to come up with a flat back. Fold your knees in. Roll down with control. Slide your feet up for bridge. And scoot down a little bit. Have a block handy. If you'd like to use a supported bridge, set the Baddha Konasana, or just lift your hips up and clasp your hands behind your back if you can. But what you're working on is lifting the chest by pushing down with the arms, so you could do that holding onto the edges or robot arms. Or like so. Relax the buttock, point the toes and knees forward. Lift your hips by pushing into your feet. Lift your chest by pushing into your shoulders and arms. Breathe along the length of the spine. Lift everything up. And then open your arms up to flow through each vertebra. I'm going to take a full upward bow. If you'd like to repeat bridge, or put a block under your pelvis for a supported bridge. If you'd like to do a bow pose, take your hands on either side of your head, about shoulder width apart, maybe wider. Your elbows want to be straight up and down. If your shoulders are tight, they're going to want to wing out, but try to resist that. And we'll come up to bridge. Your weight is across the shoulder girdle and across the feet. Check again that your elbows are straight up. Try to keep them that way as you push down with the hands and straighten your legs, arms, bringing your shoulders up over your wrists and letting your neck dangle. Breathe, stretching yourself open. Bend your elbows, come to the back of the head, roll down through the vertebrae. Drop your knees and wrap your arms. Feet about as wide as the mat. So it's like your pigeon toe. This is a nice counter pose for the sacrum. And a nice rest for the shoulders. Change the arm that's on top after a couple of breaths. Just letting go. We're going to close with a shoulder stand. So you could take a modification of going up to a wall with the legs up a wall, or putting your hips on a block, which is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take it up a little higher. Get yourself nice and balanced on the block so that you can comfortably extend the legs up without a lot of effort. And if you're going to full shoulder stand, it's nice to start a little modified, where you would have more weight in your elbows and your legs more of an angle. And then as you're acclimating and you're sure you can do the full shoulder stand without pressure on your neck, you can scoot yourself up a little higher. These are the cooling poses. Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. And if there's some other practice you want to be doing right now, it's your time. Of course, you could do a headstand, you could do a handstand, or palm balance. You could already be in Shavasana, or a passive twist, or happy. So when you're ready, put your feet down. If you were in shoulder stand, go through plow pose. Bend the knees and roll down and do the counter pose, which is the fish pose. So we can all do fish pose. If you want to block, if you like, you can go right into Shavasana. If you did a headstand, please take a forward bend like child pose or Paschimottanasana. So just lift up, push into your elbows, lift your chest, and then stretch your neck into a comfortable angle. And breathe. This is good for keeping the thyroid healthy, which is part of your immune system. And then bring your chin in and come down. Spread yourself open into Shavasana. You can stay here as long as you like. So if you'd like to cover yourself up with a sweater or a blanket, put something under your knees or head or over your eyes. The longer you rest here, the more beneficial it is, allowing your body to absorb the practice, allowing your mind to sink down to the core of your being and rest there, rejuvenate. Now I'm going to come out of the Shavasana, but I do encourage you to stay longer. To come out, start to deepen the breath. Looking at the energy in the body slowly by moving your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, elbows and knees, so your knees up. Pull to one side so you come up with least strain in the neck. Push down with the hands. Come into an easy sitting position. Sukhasana, pose of ease. And whatever you like, lifting the spine tall, maintaining the ease of body, mind, and spirit. Sit in the core of your being. And bring the hands together to honor the light of the soul, the inner teacher, the inner guru, higher self. May the wicked become good. May the good become peaceful. May the peaceful become free. May the free help others to become free. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.